Hello viewers, welcome to educators.com. This is Venkatamna Ganji. In this session, we will discuss about what are the storage options available for us in Android. So first of all, how to decide which storage mechanism we should go for. So Android provides several storage mechanisms for us to save application, data. So how can we do that? So the solution for what we have to do is choose it depends upon our specific needs. Basically, how can we decide? The first thing is like whether the data should be private to your application or it is public to for other applications as well. And so can it be accessible by multiple applications or single application, that whatever it is, like a private to the application or public to all the applications, and how much data it will require. So depends upon these parameters. So we have Android is ships with the different kind of storage mechanisms available for us. So as there follows like shared preferences, internal storage, external storage, SQLite database, and network connections. So we'll go one by one. The shared preferences. So we use shared preferences to store private primitive data in a key value pairs. The basic primitives are like what string, int, boolean, longs, and floats are called as the basic primitive types. So in any language, basically, to store this kind of data in key value pair mechanism. The example, so bank account number, the corresponding value. The key is bank account number, the value is the corresponding number. So the key is password, the value is the corresponding password value. So like we'll store in a key value mechanism, and this data will be persistent across the user sessions. Even our application is killed, the data will be available. The best example, so where we use is like what? So to store your user ID, birthday date, or driving license number, passport number, or gender, so etc. In such scenarios, we use shared preferences. We'll discuss in detail in the later sessions. So how does it will be implemented in the Android? Internal. The next storage mechanism is internal storage. The name itself is indicating internal storage is nothing but what? To store the data on a memory, or sorry, a device memory. So what exactly, what kind of data? Again, the private data to store on the device memory. So it is good to store ad hoc data like what images, so simple music files and the simple data files, small data files where we can store it. So this data will be inherited when internal storage is private to the application. So once the application is killed, the data will be killed. It is no more available. The next storage mechanism is external storage mechanism. So we use external storage mechanism to store public data on an external storage media like your SD cards. SD stands for Secured Digital Card. And even to share large amount of data with other users, external storage is the best way to store that kind of data. For example, you can see log file which coordinates the locations that are so a user has to share with their particular other people. Let us suppose so to sharing my current location with somebody else, or to finding out the favorite ATMs or restaurants nearby you in and around of that particular radius. The way a huge log file data is there, then we go for external storage. The next storage mechanism is SQLite database. We use SQLite database to store relational data. So means where the data depends upon another one, the relation between every data item. So the database that we create for an application only accessible within the application. When you kill your application, so it will be killed. So once the application is killed, we'll lose all the data. The example is to store the results of a student or the student details of a university or a college. So where you'll have a lot of data. So the data items will be like what the predefined structure relation will be there, like serial number, first name, last name. Okay, branch, year, marks secured, any arrears, total number of marks secured, and attendance. So all these will be predefined. So these column details are common for each and every data item. For every student, it keeps on adding the data. So again, if you want to know the student details or the student names, so who secured more than 70 percentage, you will write a query in saying that okay, so go to that particular table and find out who are having more than 70%, where class. So where the percentage is greater than 70, greater than or equal to 70%, automatically it will load all the data. So depends upon that particular column, the entire we are grabbing up all other data. So there is a relation between every data item. In such scenarios, we use SQLite database to store your large amount of data, which is a relational data. And finally, network connection. So we used to store the data on the web with our own network servers basically. If you want to deal with this data, we use web services in Android. So we have XML parsing and JSON parsing. So we do support RESTful web services in our Android. So this is all about the storage mechanisms available in the Android. In the next session, in coming sessions, we'll discuss in detail so how to deal with shared references, how to create an internal storage, and how to push the data to the internal storage, how to retrieve it. So all these things will be discussed one after other. Okay. Thanks for watching educators.com. Let's catch up in the next session.